喂喂，各位好，我叫Robert, and let's do some coloring today, eh? And I picked this image because I was playing with color and being a bit painterly, so I thought it was fitting. I hope everyone is doing well. I am doing, better than I was the last session. Let's get a little better. Let's start with the skin tones before I decide what color this octopus is going to be. I uh, I do tend to make them purple, though I feel that maybe I'm going to switch it up today, just to keep things a little bit different. You don't want to fall too much into some kind of routine because then you start to definitely lose, perspective on the best way to approach different situations. Diversity of thought is kind of the term that I've been using to kind of just, kind of when people say to branch out, try new things, get into a different kind of mindset, and that's kind of where we're going to go today. This mindset is a bit of color. I've been working with color, and it is painting is a definitely a different kind of beast. There's a lot of technique involved with physical painting, with the medium and how paints kind of work with everything else and how they interact, the viscosity and kind of just how they blend. There's definitely a lot of practice and familiarity with paint that I definitely do not have. But I have actually probably don't even have it still because I have been avoiding acrylics and oils, and I've been sticking with watercolors, mainly because they do a very nice blending. They have a nice soft blend, which is nice. The colors are very subtle, which actually require a little bit more work to get the colors to really come out and pop. Especially with this kind of digital coloring, everything is so saturated. It's quite easy to forget that there's there's a bit of oversaturation in that, and sometimes light things are nice. Anyway, so let's make it a little more red for these lips, the upper lips. Just kind of plain color here, and then and let's go from there to the inside of the mouth, very dark red, and then we're gonna do that tongue next. So that's where I'm at today. There's definitely a little bit more ambition and hope there, which is always required. And sometimes being positive or negative really isn't the point. Let's make the tongue a little bit redder. Deeper. Oop, there we go. That was. There we go. That's a bit orange. Well, you know what? Maybe he had a popsicle, or maybe he's been licking the paint. Uh, there are. I think they say oils are technically edible, though I wouldn't eat them. I don't think I've ever really been in that kind of artist mindset where I must eat the paint to really absorb the color. I am a very big fan of kind of black and white and kind of the contours and contrast and kind of shadows and how those work together. So because of that, I don't really have the inclination to really go. Let's make the eyes a little bit red today. A little bit red. I am definitely a little bit tired still. It has been a long day. Every day is long, I guess, and every day is short at the same time. Just through our own experiences, we we do so much, and at the same time, we're able to anticipate, so that even attempting to achieve something that will take more than a day, to a week, to a month, to a year, still is perfectly acceptable in our minds because we kind of have ambitious end game to see kind of how long things last and how long we can kind of keep up the appearances. I guess is a way to put it. It's not really appearances though. Inside his nose is a bit darker. Yeah, and you know what? I'm just going to shrink that down. There we go. Make our lives a little bit simpler. It is the computer, so we do have control over that. And let's make his eyebrow the same color as his nose hairs, because let's face it, they should be somewhat similar. Though actually, you know what? I don't know. I have dark hair, so my nose hairs are dark, and I'm not too sure what light hair would look like if you have light nose hairs. You know what the octopus is going to have the same kind of red eyes. He's part of the painting process too, though it looks like he is actually, or she is. You never know. Maybe it is a girl. It's. I don't actually truly intend on which gender I draw, though I do notice that I have been drawing males more than females. That being said, maybe it's because a lot of times when I draw like the light blues, there we go. A lot of times, let's make it a little bit green. Ooh, that's a little bit dark. There we go. A lot of times when I draw, it is the subject matter tends to be a reflection of myself. So if I am feeling, ambitious, sad, angry, spiteful, contempt, and any kind of emotion that I'm feeling, I tend to, put it onto the paper and kind of let it physically manifest itself in a very passive way. This way, you're not screaming and yelling or hitting anybody. I'm just drawing a picture. I'm drawing you a picture of how I feel. So I feel like playing with color. Oh no, I almost went into the purples. Let's go. It's going to be a pink. You know what? There we go. A nice pink. Yeah, we got a pink octopus here. I haven't figured out the colors in which they're playing with, but we definitely have that. I'm gonna have to do a little sniffle, so excuse me. I don't think I'm getting sick, though at the same time, scratchy throats and such. It could be allergies, or it could be nothing at all. It could just be in my head. Maybe I'm just, feeling a little sniffly. I did just have a shower, a nice warm shower, so it's definitely clears up sinuses and such. Though for a while, I was avoiding warm showers like the plague, and it's surprisingly refreshing to just use cold water for your showers. It definitely requires a bit of a perseverance or discipline is a word to do that, because once I hit that warm shower button, it's definitely hard to go back to the quick cold ones. It's so much more comfortable. There is a bit of relaxation. Everything just loosens up in the warm shower. Where when I'm taking a cold shower, and it wasn't even cold. It was just the water was not hot. I was avoiding the hot water, mainly because I have a bit of dry skin, and the warm water. The hot showers do not do my back any favors. So instead of asking my wife to slather lotion on me, and then I just kind of stuck with I tried the cold shower or the cool shower technique, and it actually does work. My skin definitely felt not as kind of dry and crackly as I guess a word. And let's go What color shirt am I going to be wearing? Where's this guy going to be wearing? Dark, let's go orangey. Nice orange shirt. Yeah, that's nice. And so I was using cool showers, and it felt very. It definitely was not, the relaxing warm shower. Though at the same time, it did not jolt my system as bad as you would imagine. After a while, you definitely kind of adapt and adjust to it, and it isn't a that big of a deal anymore. But it's more just kind of getting to that stage where your body has adapted to kind of what it feels like and what it is that it's happening. All right. So we are here we are. So we're coloring in here. I'm a bit sloppy today in the with my coloring. I'm gonna have to just kind of take a breath and zoom back out. You know, it's been a very interesting kind of process. I select an image and then I make one of these videos. I have been attempting to increase my online presence, which is a feat in and of itself. And it's what? How about you just painted? You get the paints for there we go for the shirt for this one. It's kind of drippage right here on this one tentacle, and let's make a nice kind of regular palette, yellowishy palette. Make a little bit more red. There we go. I'm looking for more of a brown. There we go. Beigey brown maybe. But so it's definitely been helping. I've been surprised by how much help being online has been to just kind of pushing my effort for or my motivation really to kind of create. Attempting to have something to post every day, you can definitely start to wear yourself out because after the initial couple of days of this is exciting and garnering a following or a minuscule following that I have right now, but as it slowly builds and you can see that it does require effort to consistently post, but once you kind of keep that up, then from there it definitely kind of opens up to, well, then what am I going to do next, right? Like, and then you can kind of create these kind of like aha moments where it's like, ooh, that would be a great idea, and then sometimes they work out, and other times you put it together and you're like, wow, that did not look good at all, so you're just not going to do it, and that's okay too, because experimentation is really important. We have to kind of get out of our comfort zone every once in a while just to ensure that we're kind of on point and still kind of performing at our best. All right, so we need some colors here. I was actually thinking about this. Should I go regular red, green, and blue? Good old RGB, or in honor of our screens and kind of the way we perceive colors now, or the classic red, blue, and yellow, because those are the primaries, and kind of that's where all the colors that we can create come from, which is very, I don't know. I definitely know that both those have red and blue. So to avoid making a decision now, I am going to go with the red and blue, and that's kind of just the way that my process is very much like that. Excuse me, I'm gonna kind of cough into my elbow in a minute once I finish this, just to kind of clear my throat. There we go. And what was I saying? I completely lost where I was at. Ooh, wow, It's definitely more in the green section. There you go. Red, green, and yellow. Red, blue. No, yeah, red, blue, and yellow. Uh, so we have these primary colors, and where all color comes from. And you know what? Now you'll have a little bit of red right here. Why not? I'm a fan of red. I like red a lot. I, I feel that it is, and we do kind of do this. What is your favorite color? Well, I feel that we should be able to. I might make this blue. Just what I am gonna, or I'm gonna make it yellow, just to kind of keep it consistent with the paint scheme. But I don't know if we need to have a favorite. I mean, I do kind of stick with red. I like red. I am slightly, definitely superstitious, so red might have a bit of the is it lucky, is it not kind of vibe. At the same time, ooh, that's kind of like a nice aqua color. The red is kind of a nice brightness, but at this, if you're gonna say favorite, well, there was a point in my life where I was one of those guys that said like, well, then my favorite color is black, but black is actually the uh, the absence of all color. While let's just kind of keep this. It's kind of like a belt, and while white is actually the inclusion of all color, and it's really interesting how people can change kind of what we think and how we perceive. Since this is that, let's make it there we go. And you don't have to ever be one thing. I could be super into I don't know, cars. I still kind of like cars, but I've definitely changed my interests as I have gotten older. Definitely just like Street Fighter. I want more video games. I do still do like games now. I'm just not as I'm just not as good at them. I guess is the best way to put it. So it's just not as entertaining. I also don't have the time to really grind into them. I kind of wish I did though. I do enjoy the grind. Alrighty, wow, that kind of worked out. So let's do some shadows. I have to choose. Let's see. Well, we have been doing that, sticking with the using the color dodge, which is oops. There we go. Which is kind of nice. If I do that, then just kind of color burn. Yeah. And let's kind of create this. Where is these shadows going to be coming from? Let's make the shadows come from this side of the face. Let's see how we can do it if we had shadows coming from a hard side on this side. So if all the shadows are kind of coming out from this side, and the paintbrush is nice because it's just kind of right there. So we can definitely kind of do that. There we go. And this octopus, where are the shadows going to be? Kind of like that. Yeah. And then this shadows will be here. And we kind of like that. And we'll have this kind of here. And there we go. Unfortunately, I feel that I don't talk as much while I'm trying to do the shadows. A lot of it is because my mind is just constantly trying to figure out, where the placement would be and kind of how it would work. And unfortunately, it does take up a bit of my brain power. Wish I had more. I guess a lot of people wish they had more brain power, though I do know that I am definitely not getting any smarter. I feel like I learn a lot, but at the same time, I'm not as quick as I used to be. My general knowledge is kind of a hodgepodge of um, kind of it's. Ooh, I do not like what I did right there. All right, I definitely messed up here. Let's let's kind of take a step back. We got lights coming in from this side, and so there we go. And we're gonna put a little bit there. Let's shrink this down a bit. There we go. And there we go. There we go. That's much better. Much better. So, and just the general quickness of kind of what I can remember, um, and how fast I can think compared to my youth. Uh, I definitely see it in my kids. Their brains are definitely getting much faster, and their comprehension and capabilities are definitely a lot. They're only going to grow because that's what kids do. When you're young, you grow, and then it reaches a point where your body kind of stops growing, and then from there, kind of the real question is, well, what happens from there? Well, uh, that is kind of just an experience. You kind of experience what happens. People can tell you what happens, but you don't really know until it happens. and and I guess that's actually a lot to do with kind of how everything happens in life. You can hear about it. You can kind of anticipate, and we try our best to kind of empathize or understand. But the truth is, we really just kind of experience everything that we experience on our own, in our own heads, in our own way, and there's really no way around it. There was a very interesting book that I read where I believe it's called Neuromancer, but I've honestly drawing a blank. And it's kind of about a bunch of people kind of uh, they they can kind of sync together and experience all of each other's thoughts. And someone found a fascinating thing that happens when some people sync for an extended period of time, and that is they begin to lose the ability to be malicious towards one another, to kill or to hurt, because you end up experiencing someone else entirely to the point where you become them, because the whole idea is that you're kind of plugging in your mind into someone else's mind, and you can kind of experience their experiences and know their thoughts, and they know yours, and it's this kind of complete sharing that can possibly save the world. Of course, it's a book, so they kind of built into it this kind of there are groups of people that were trying to get the other side to not do that, because they're just trying to control the population and not let make the world an even or safe place, or have everyone kind of be the same. We're not the same, but just kind of end war. I think that was definitely the key message for that one. But it kind of stems from that. How much can we know if we don't experience someone else's thing, and we kind of only experience our own existence. I can assume, though assumptions are extremely dangerous. They can cause misunderstandings or just kind of general knowledge that's not accurate. So another line from a science fiction book that I like is I would not presume to assume. And I thought that was a very clever way of kind of saying that it's best not to assume anything, or you be wary of your own assumptions. And, they're just nice kind of wisdomy words. And, anyways, as I'm rambling on, let's try to kind of finish up this lighting system. And I'm just gonna kind of let's brush through these hands and this thumb right there. And the nice thing, of course, is being able to erase. Just being able to erase right there and add a little. All right, let's just go in. I know I've been trying to avoid kind of getting too deep into the image, just because of it is a digital image, so the ability to zoom in is one of those. Just because you can do it isn't necessarily something you need to do. Uh, Being able to kind of step back and see what you're doing is more important, I think. Though, mind you, my kind of like analog art, pardon me, but my analog art is very detailed, and it's definitely one of those. I shove my nose, kind of as deep as I can go into the paper, and just kind of stay there. And it is very much a comfort thing. I feel very comfortable in that space, just kind of in the paper, just kind of in front of it. All I see is kind of the lines that I see, and that's what I'm going to be doing after I finish this. But it is definitely one of those um, scary bits of moments when right before I start any kind of uh, drawing or physical art, there's definitely that kind of fear where if it's a blank page or just a page that's about to be, drawn on with ink, where there really is no undo, once once that line goes down, if it's not the right way to do it, there really is no way for me to go about undoing it. There is a hot minute where you can kind of lift it off the page, but especially with ink and pen and ink and just kind of brush and stuff like that, there really is no way. Once it's down, it's down. And a lot of times it is it's nice to know that sometimes it's very important to kind of do something or have a process where there is no undo. There is no way out of it. You have to kind of accept that the line that you drew is the line that you drew, and more often than not, no one else will notice other than yourself. You're the one that notices. Everyone else, not so much. They'll be noticing, everything else about the painting, the imagery, kind of where it comes from and such. But anyways, alrighty. So here is our little shadow layer. Let's drop that down a bit. It's a little bit too much. There we go. And let's get some backgrounds going. Um, let's see. Let's get a nice purple. Let's see what that. Oh, we had to undo that. Command D. There we go. All right. So I have been using gradients, and they are perfectly acceptable. It's not a bad idea to just kind of use what you got on the machine and just kind of let the kind of do the things that you kind of wish you could do the other way. There we go. That yellow is a bit much, and the blue is a bit dark too. So let's kind of go somewhere else with that. Oh, all right. And kind of makes a bit of a green, right? So let's get a little silly here with a bit of these fun chunky charcoal. There we go. Let's try that. And just make it nice and big. And just kind of Splatter it around. And just drop the opacity down there. Ooh, all right. And it's gonna get this. We're going a bit grungy. Um, which I guess is. Oop. All right. Let's. Where's the opacity one? There we go. There we go. And then let's just kind of brush it in. I'm just tapping around with my pen and my tablet. Just tapping around. I'm gonna have to build a floor here for this gentleman in a minute. Let's just drop the opacity a bit there. And then one more. Let's get our reds. Let's get our reds in there. Yeah, the red on the yellow is nice. I like that. And then just kind of tapping it around, making a bit of an abstract background, which is fine. And there we go. Alrighty, and then let's. Oh, that was on the same layer too. Well, you know what? That's not a big deal. And let's make this ground shadow. Shadows are very dark blue. Remember that. And let's. Ooh, all right. The opacity, drop that. Let's kind of bring that around. There we go. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I'm going to have to do a bit of erasing because I remember the light's coming from over here. So if the light's coming from over there, why in the world is the shadow going into the lower right? It should be going in this direction here. There we go, yeah. All right, that's better. That's much better. That makes a little bit more sense. And it looks like my computer is freaking out a bit. That's okay. There we go. All right. There we go. Just a little bit of opacity. And there we go. There we have it. So, and that's a bit of coloring. I hope you enjoyed it. I had fun. I like making different backgrounds. I'm going to look into a little bit more, maybe a different technique into the shading. Definitely have to work on that. But you know what? All in all, in general, I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun. Hope you are too. And thanks for watching.